Arsenal create history. Declan Rice creates legacy. When you think of Arsenal versus Real Madrid, your mind automatically wanders to Thierry Henry at the Bernabeu. Now Declan Rice has created this image that will live forever in every Arsenal fan's mind. Now when you think of Arsenal versus Real Madrid, there's no way you cannot think of Declan Rice. This will go down as the Declan Rice quarter-final. He wasn't even the best player on the pitch. Bukayo Saka holds that title, but this will go down as the Declan Rice quarter-final versus Real Madrid. It was so impressive. I want to speak about so many things because it's like Arsenal fans have been begging out for this type of performance all season. We know we're capable of it. And that's why we get frustrated when we drop points against teams like Everton and Newcastle and countless other teams this season, because we know we can put on this type of performance. We see it against Man City. You go and pump them 5-1 and then you get a chance to show it on the big stage, and Arsenal just turn up and done what so many of us have been begging them to do. Give us a moment that when rival fans are speaking about those great European nights that they've enjoyed with their teams, we have to go back 15, 20 years before we can even start to join in those types of conversations, but not anymore. This is a moment that will be spoken about in every pub on a nightly basis. It was that important. That feeling is unlike anything I've ever felt in terms of just Declan Rice doing that on the biggest stage possible against the best keeper in the world, against the biggest team in the world. The thing that was so impressive with Declan Rice doing that is 2 free kicks in that moment, if one after the other. It was consecutive. It was straight away a 15-minute period. It's not like he scored one early in the game and then right at the end of the game, but in between there was a couple of free kicks that found their way into row Z. This was one after the other in a 15-minute period against the best keeper in the world on the biggest stage in the world, and he found the top shelf perfectly. Look, I want to find out who your guys' man of the match was. Of course, loads of people are going to say Declan Rice, but like I said, Bukayo Saka is definitely in with a shout as well. So let me know who was your Arsenal versus Real Madrid man of the match. And I also want to know, what was your favourite free kick of the two of Declan Rice's free kicks? Did you prefer number 1 or number 2? Let me know in the comments section. That was unbelievable. It's got me questioning, is that the best night of the Emirates era? Genuinely, is that the best night that we've experienced at the Emirates? It could well be. There's been so many good nights at the Emirates, but this might just have topped all of them. That feeling that Arsenal fans had last night, knowing that we've finally done what we've been wanting our team to do all season. Just put on that performance, announce yourself on the European stage, because we know the manager's good enough. We know the players are good enough, but for some reason it doesn't gel in Europe, and there's this kind of cloud hanging over the head of Arteta and Arsenal in Europe. They're just not able to get past the games that is maybe a 50-50. When there's a bit of jeopardy in a game, Arsenal seem to struggle. We saw it last season. Arsenal was better than Bayern Munich. We should have gone through in that game in the Champions League last season, but it didn't happen. Arsenal fell when there's a bit of jeopardy in the game. There's a bit of jeopardy in this game. Most people were expecting Arsenal to lose that game, but they don't. They go and win it 3-0, and they put themselves in a brilliant position. Is it going to be easy at the Bernabeu? No, of course it's not. But I can't imagine Arsenal throwing away a 3-goal deficit. Can you actually see any way where Arsenal don't get through? Now, I'm not ready to say it's 100% yet. I still think it's going to be I'm going to be going into that game with so many nerves, because Arsenal can be good, but then there's kind of something in the back of your mind that thinks just don't throw this away. I'm just not ready to count my chickens until they hatch. I am just so excited for that game. It's going to be hard, but I think we've put ourselves in an unbelievable position to go and face either PSG or Aston Villa in the next round. We've got a final now that doesn't look too bad. Like I said, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I want to speak about the game and kind of what I saw, because there were so many impressive performances in that game. The defence was so good. David Raya was good. The midfield, unbelievable. Look, if there's one player that I think didn't perform at the level as maybe most of the other guys, it would be Martin Odegaard. And I'm not going to spend any time in calling him out or saying he played rubbish, but that's just an observation I need to make off the rip I don't think he performed at the level that maybe a Saka, Thomas Partey, Timber, even a David Raya, Merino. These guys stood forward in a moment when Arsenal fans needed them to stand forward. And I'm just so happy that we got that result. Like, early on, there was a couple of mistakes that I was thinking, like, because we started off playing well, but there was a Saka where he kind of gave the ball to Vinicius, and I was thinking, we can't be doing that. We can't be giving them chances like that because they will bury it. Luckily, they messed it up. I think there was a Kivior one early on as well, where a player that many of us was kind of hesitant to start and maybe would have gone for Big Benny Blanco in the left centre-back position, which is something we haven't seen. Arteta rightly picked Kivior, and he was unbelievable. He made that first mistake, and I thought, right, here we go. Kivior's going to be giving away the ball left, right, and centre. But he was a rock. He was so, so good to deal with Kylian Mbappe the way that he did. Now, look, Kylian Mbappe had a few chances, but he's always going to. His pace is unbelievable because when he's played through, you know when he's like, you're on the edge of the box and you play him into a corner and you think, well, the player's going to get there to shut him out. He's so quick. He gets ahead of the defender. Even when the defender's coming across, so he's got less ground to cover, he still gets himself ahead to get the shot away. His finishing wasn't that great last night, Mbappe. He could have punished us a couple of times, but luckily he turned into Darwin Núñez because he definitely could have had a couple of goals just in the first half alone. But Vinicius was quiet. If Mbappe was loud, Vinicius was so quiet. I didn't rate him in that game at all. Now, that's good. As an Arsenal fan, I want him to have an off night. But yeah, Vinicius, if I'm being honest, didn't impress me whatsoever. Saka, on the other hand, was incredible. He was incredible. He was so good. Like, he was skinning Alaba, and then he was kind of calling someone to help double up, and Jude Bellingham was coming back to try and help him out, and he was skinning both of them, getting to the byline and whipping that ball in. The first cross where Rudiger nearly scored an own goal, it wasn't even that good of a cross. But the second one where it flashes across the goal and you just need a centre forward to sneeze on it and it goes in. Like, you just need the slightest touch from a centre forward. But it didn't come. Saka was honestly incredible last night. The reporter before the game asked that stupid question of Saka. He said, when do you think you can see yourself being on the level of Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe? And Saka, rightly so, said, well, I don't think of it like that. He showed that he belongs on that very, very top level. Saka was the best player on the pitch. Think of the players that was on that pitch. Ballon d'Or winners, European winners, La Liga winners. Like, they've won so much. And Saka from Hale End was the best player on that pitch by a mile. That should tell you how special this player is. And you still get people saying Rodrigo's better than Saka, and I just feel to shake them and say, do you lot watch football? Or do you just like the allure of the Brazilian talent playing in Spain who has this kind of buzz around his name? Like, he's nowhere near on the level of Saka. Saka outperformed Mbappe, Vinicius and Rodrigo in the same night. So the talk of Saka not being world class ended a long time ago. Stop questioning Saka and putting him up against players like Rodrigo. He's on his own different level. He's the first or second best right winger in world football. If there is a player that's ahead of Bukayo Saka, it's only Mo Salah, in my opinion. He was unbelievable. Another player who deserved a shout out, Miles Lewis-Skelly. 18 years old. 18 years old, Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's never played left back in his career before kind of this season started. That is unbelievable to think of. He looks like a career left back. He looks like one of the best left backs in the world. And he's a central midfielder. He's not going to be a central midfielder going forward. I can't see that happening because he's playing so good at left back. And next season, where would you put him? Like, if you're going to move Lewis-Skelly into central midfield, that means you have to let go of Thomas Partey. And the way that Thomas Partey played last night, you can't let go of Thomas Partey. Best midfielder on the pitch in terms of dictating the game. Declan Rice, like I said, had the two moments, but Thomas Partey was the reason that Arsenal was able to do what they was going forward. Thomas Partey marshalled that whole midfield that allowed Declan Rice to be free to wander forward into the opposition box. He allowed Odegaard to try and do what he needed to do. Thomas Partey was the midfield in that midfield general in that game. And just think of some of the midfielders that were on that pitch. Camavinga, touted as world class. Modric, in years gone by, certainly is world class. Jude Bellingham. Like, Thomas Partey was the best central midfielder on that pitch. And that leaves you with a question like, can we afford to let this player go next season? Yes, he's getting older. He's not even that old, but he's injury prone. Yes, he's probably going to want a lot of money. But when you see him putting in these type of performances, like, just pay the guy. And people say it's a risk because he's injury prone. Take the risk. I'm someone who usually says don't take the risk, but for a level of that, like a player of that level, you kind of just have to take the risk. Thomas Partey was unbelievable. Look, there was a double save from Courtois kind of let Real Madrid go home with a 3-0 deficit when it should have been way more than that. Arsenal should have probably won 5 or 6-0. Like, the scoreline actually flattered Real Madrid. That's what's crazy. They lost 3-0 in the Champions League, Real Madrid, to Arsenal, and it should have been 5 or 6. And the thing that's crazy is even their fans online, who are at times some of the most deluded, are coming out and saying, like, we're lucky to escape with a 3-0 loss. It could have been way, way worse for them. And Courtois, you can see why he is touted as probably the best keeper in the world. He made some unbelievable saves. David Raya made some good saves for Arsenal, but Courtois kept them in that game if they are still in the game. And like I said, it's going to be hard at the Bernabeu, but Courtois stopped them from holding a real battering in that game. Like, the amount of I think he made 2 or 3 double saves. Like, there was chances where you was thinking, yes, and it was like, you know, when it's bobbling around in the box and then, like, Merino strikes it and someone else kicks it and it's, like, getting cleared off the line. Like, it was domination from Arsenal, which, look, so many of us wanted to see that, but the fact that it actually played out that well, I was kind of in disbelief. It was one of them moments where it's like, I will remember this game for the rest of my life. Not only will I remember the game, but I will remember where I watched it and who I watched it with. I let my 2 sons stay up to watch this game. It was way past their bedtime, but I just thought, this is such a massive occasion that I want to be here watching it with these 2. And the fact that they saw it was just made it so much more special for me. Like, honestly, that was one of the best games of football I have ever watched in my 33 years of life. Like, it was absolutely unbelievable. And the kind of icing on the cake was the fact that Camavinga got sent off. He must have been so frustrated. He had been embarrassed by Saka so many times he's gone past him. Thomas Partey didn't let him past him once. Thomas Partey held that midfield on his own. Camavinga didn't get a sniff. So he was so frustrated, he booted the ball away and he gets sent off. He misses the next game. Like, it's just, like I said, it's just a cherry on the cake. Let me know your thoughts on that game. Let me know your feelings and your emotions on how you're feeling right now, how you was feeling last night. Who was your man of the match? What was your favourite free kick from Declan Rice? Was it number 1 or number 2? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, do me a quick favour. If you could, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.